U.S. President Donald Trump announced plans to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Hungary. Vietnam joins WTO multi-party interim appeal arbitration arrangement. TH Group accompanies the government for goal of net zero emissions by 2050.
Hello, so good to see you again in today's news. I'm Truyen, and here we go, the first half of the show. U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin may meet within the next 2 weeks in Budapest, the U.S. president said. After a more than 2-hour phone conversation he called productive. The Kremlin confirmed plans for the meeting, though neither side provided a date for when it would occur.
Between President Trump and President Putin as well, they talked about Budapest.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt announced that the two leaders had agreed to hold a high-level meeting on the issue of Ukraine next week, which could lead to a second in-person summit. A surprise move that came as Moscow feared fresh U.S. military support for Kiev. The development came as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was headed to the White House on October 17th to push for more military support, including U.S.-made long-range Tomahawk missiles. Since taking office in January, President Donald Trump has regularly threatened action against Russia, only to delay those steps after talks with President Vladimir Putin.
Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammad Mustafa unveiled a comprehensive plan for recovery and long-term reconstruction in Gaza, outlining a 5-year effort to rebuild the war-torn enclave.
How's that training going? When do you expect?
Speaking at a meeting with international partners at the cabinet headquarters in the West Bank city of Ramallah, Mr. Mustafa said the Palestinian government has established a unified framework for Gaza reconstruction through the Gaza, based on the plan adopted at the Arab Summit in Cairo in March. The program sets a 5-year timeframe of $67 billion, encompassing 56 subprograms in 18 sectors, including housing, social services, and infrastructure. MT Mohammed Mustafa said that the government will also strengthen political and territorial unity between Gaza and the West Bank, while reaffirming that security and effective governance in Gaza must be nationally owned and led, rooted in the Palestinian people.
Vietnam just officially notified its participation in the multi-party interim appeal arbitration arrangement on October 16th, an initiative designed to help maintain stability in the World Trade Organization's dispute settlement system.
The Vietnam's participation in the MPIA sends a strong message of its commitment to a rules-based multilateral trading system. At a time when the WTO's appellate body, often regarded as the Supreme Court of global trade, remains paralyzed, Vietnam's move is viewed as a responsible step that helps preserve trust and stability in international commerce. The MPIA was established as a temporary mechanism to ensure that WTO members continue to have access to an independent and transparent two-tier dispute settlement system. By joining the arrangement, Vietnam not only safeguards its own interests, but also contributes to strengthening the foundations of the WTO alongside the global community.
Upcoming are some updated news.
Under the government's decree number 236, effective from October 15, 2025, Vietnam officially applies a global minimum tax rate of 15% on multinational enterprises with consolidated revenues of $750 million a year, $877.87 million USD, or more. This move helps Vietnam align its tax policy with international practices, as more than 100 countries have already introduced similar measures. Vietnam's adoption of the global minimum tax marks a strategic step that demonstrates the country's responsibility and proactive integration with international standards, aiming to both retain existing investors and upgrade the quality of foreign direct investment, FDI, in the years to come.
The The Vietnam Red Cross Society Central Committee reported that as of October 16th, its fundraising program, 65 Years of Vietnam-Cuba Solidarity, had collected more than 537.7 billion VND, over 20.41 million USD, in support of the Cuban people. Launched on August 13th and running until October 16th, the program initially aimed to raise at least 65 billion VND. Remarkably, the target was met within just 30 hours after the launching ceremony through both traditional and online donation channels. The program demonstrates the sentiments of the Vietnamese people towards the Cuban people. At the same time, further strengthens the traditional relationship between the two nations.
After more than 3 months of construction, the Vinh Airport upgrade project is being accelerated by the investor and contractors, who are mobilizing machinery and equipment to speed up progress. They are striving to complete the project in December 2025, in time for the year-end peak travel season. Vinh International Airport officially suspended operations on July 1st, 2025, to implement the renovation and upgrade project. The major components include renovation and upgrading of the passenger terminal, renovation and upgrading of the aircraft parking apron and the runway system. The project has an investment capital of nearly 1,000 billion VND and is being carried out by the Airports Corporation of Vietnam as the investor. Once completed, Vinh International Airport will have a new look, enhance flight safety, and meet the service capacity for passengers, especially during peak periods.
Since 2018, TH Group has pioneered the initial step of greenhouse gas inventory, followed by robust green transition actions. As of now, the group's 2 key production companies located in Nghệ An province have been awarded international carbon neutrality certification. More in the story.
The TH True fresh milk factory, which is operated by the company, ceased using the FO oil-fired boiler, fossil fuel, and completely replaced it with a biomass-fueled boiler starting in 2023, helping to reduce emissions by over 7,000 tons of CO2 equivalent per year. Meanwhile, Truyen Pure Water Company Limited focused on solutions such as reducing the plastic weight of each water bottle and decreasing the thickness of the plastic labels. Thanks to this chain of solutions, the company has reduced approximately 600 tons of plastic annually.
TH is one of the pioneering groups in carbon neutrality. This fact was proven when we visited the water plant and milk factory of TH Group.
To achieve carbon neutrality, TH Milk Joint Stock Company and Truyen Pure Water Company Limited have intensified their greenhouse gas, GHG, emission reduction activities through effective solutions such as transitioning to green energy, improving equipment, and efficient waste management. The carbon neutrality status achieved by these 2 companies is in compliance with the PAS 2060 2014 standard for the first period from January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023. And they are committed to maintaining the carbon neutral status for the subsequent period from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2028. TH Group's roadmap towards net zero is a journey that has been prepared for many years through its sustainable development strategy. This roadmap is being pursued steadfastly.
TH has always been a pioneering enterprise in sustainable development and the circular economy. TH proactively implemented emission reductions through carbon neutrality even before government's requests were put in place.
TH Milk Joint Stock Company and Truyen Pure Water Company Limited are the first 2 companies in Vietnam to be audited and verified by Control Union, an independent and reputable international certification body. The fact that 2 member companies of the TH Group have achieved carbon neutrality certification demonstrates the pioneering commitment of the TH Group on the path of green economic development, a circular economy, and climate change combat roadmap, aiming towards the goals of carbon neutrality and net zero by 2050.
The last story to send it our news today. Thank you so much for your attention. Goodbye for now.